All right, well, if you've been with us through the beginning of this month in May, we are playing with the idea of fourth dimensional living. That is our theme this month. And it's based on John Randolph Price's book, Practical Spirituality. And the topics that we have had so far this month, the first one was spiritual priority. The second one was unconditional love. And today we are going to play with deep peace. These are some of the qualities that John Randolph Price named as the awakened ones possess, i.e. the ones that are living in the fourth dimension. And remember, most of us are always living in this third dimension, the physical plane where we can see and taste and smell, and it corrals us. It draws us into its experience because it's just so much in our face all the time, whether you're seeing something or you're hearing something. And yet, there is a whole deeper realm, a whole world that literally is beneath this substance that is in the unseen realm, that has been giving life to everything and everyone throughout eternity, from beginning to end, which there is none. There is no beginning, there is no end. We are all living this one life. And so how do we get beyond this teeny tiny little infinitesimal part of life that most of us are conscious aware of, this third dimension? How do we get into that fourth dimension on a daily, practical basis? I believe it takes intention. It takes a willingness. It takes an effort to go within, to seek that divinity that is within us. And I love the way that Joel Goldsmith kind of shakes his finger at us when he wrote, "The truth is that the interest of the world has never been yet in attaining mystical consciousness or fourth dimensional living, but only in attaining the fruits of it, what the master called the loaves and the fishes. The world has always wanted peace, but not that which will produce peace. The world has always wanted prosperity, but not that which produces prosperity. That it wants to avoid. It wants health, but not that which will produce health. All creation comes from a source, and if you have the source, you have the creation. The fabric of life is consciousness, spiritual consciousness. And if you want the forms of life, you must have its fabric first, the consciousness. Once you have the consciousness, you can have all things added. What the master said, seek ye first the kingdom, and all else will be added unto you." And I love the example. It's so practical, so a vision that you can really see and imagine and touch. He gives the example of a person who wants a desk. I want a desk. And so the person that they're talking to says, "Okay, that's great. We're going to start with some wood." "Oh, I don't want to bother with the wood. I want a desk." But you see, you can't have the desk. "I don't want to talk about wood. I want the desk." How true is that? We want the fruits, we want the result, the effect, when we don't have the source to produce it with. That's what we're talking about here. So John Randolph Price said, how do we get that deep peace? This is his observation of the people that have that fourth dimensional consciousness. He says, knowing that stress and tension will close the door to their good, they practice the art of peaceful relaxation throughout the day. And while they may work hard, they do it with a sense of ease. They draw forth that deep peace from within, and they live and move and have their being in a center of serenity, regardless of what is going on around them. Do you know folks like that? Are you one of them? Many of us would like to be that way all the time. But it's, to be truth be told, we get caught up in what's going on. And to stay centered, to stay unmoved with what is going on, takes that intention of knowing what we are. I believe it takes the intention of a deep inner trust, a deep inner faith that there is this amazing power right within me that only wants my highest and my best good. And so what? Duh, wouldn't it be nice to cooperate with it? Wouldn't it be nice to let go of having to have it my way? Because that's what the ego tells us all the time. I'm here for your good. The ego says, fear is a good thing. It keeps you small. But we want to break out of that shell of fear, of limitation, of not knowing really what we are. I was reading one of the daily words in the Science of Mind magazine this month, and Reverend Sorensen. It's a great visual, okay? So he's talking about that, say you're holding a cup of coffee, and somebody bumps into you, and you spill the coffee. And so you ask the question, how'd the coffee get spilled? You say, well, somebody bumped into me. He said, no, that's the wrong answer. The coffee got spilled because it was in the cup. If there was tea in the cup, the tea would have spilled. So what we're saying is that many times in life, somebody is going to bump into us. And whatever is within our cup, whichever is within our consciousness, will automatically spill out. What do we want to have spill out? Do we want to have judgment and harsh words spill out, or do we want to have this compassion, knowing that you and I are one, and that you can't do it wrong, I'm not going to do it wrong, that life is giving us the opportunity and the example to come from our highest and best at every given moment, and that's what we're doing. And so we want to be able to slip into this consciousness of spiritual knowing that this higher source is within me, is leading and guiding me. And so we want to let go of the having to have it my way. We want to let go of fear and doubt. Michael Beckwith says every iota of spiritual growth and maturity is about letting go of something that we have piled on ourselves, because what we have within us is pristine, that beautiful light, and we want it to shine. But it takes knowing that there is this higher power within me, and it only wants my best good. It takes deep intention in my thought to listen to it, to be aware of it, because we're so into busyness. So I'm encouraging us all to set the time, the intention to go within, sit down in your favorite chair, the spot, wherever you want to do it. Recommended you keep your feet flat on the floor. Perhaps put your hands in a very relaxed position. I like to hold them like in a thing like this, like round, so you've got a touching, the thumbs are touching. And then if you want to have some sort of music, some people do that. No words, don't just some sort of instrumental. Concentrate on your breath in and breath out. One of the things articles in the Science of Mind this month was the fact that I like to read those articles about the doctors that tell you what's happening with your brain. And it's talked about a yawn. If you intentionally yawn 3 times, like, and how many, you say, well, I don't know if I can intentionally yawn because, oh, there we are, see? It just happens. So you can intentionally yawn, and when you do, that means think about it. Bring it up, notice it, and notice the breath coming in and out. If you do 3 intentional yawns, it equates to about a 20-minute meditation. As far as the effects on the brain go, you know the effects of the brain with meditation. It's highly, it's good benefits, lots of stuff going on there. And so just if you want to start, I was thinking, well, I'll just start with the 3 yawns, boy, and then I can just, get on a fresh, clean start. And then intermittently throughout the day, even as we have our eyes open, if we look at a tree or we, see a bird, oh gosh, my birds are coming to my bird feeder now. I'm almost going to have to, like Richard, open that thing up and feed it every day. They're busy little guys. The word gets out. So I like surprises. I like happy surprises, personally, in my life. And that's just a subconscious intention, I guess, that I have. And I'll never forget, I was 21 years old, and I was engaged, and I was preparing for my wedding that was going to happen in a few months. And somebody, I don't know, in your back of your mind as a bride, you're thinking, oh, well, I'm going to have a bridal shower. Somebody's going to give me the bridal shower. I don't know how it's going to happen or, whatever, but it'll get worked out. Somebody will do it. Well, as the months went by and the date got closer to the wedding, nothing was said about a bridal shower. Nothing was said. And I thought, oh, well, whatever, doesn't have to be happening. And then one day I was at my sister-in-law's, to be's place, and she had her calendar out, and I glanced at the calendar, and evidently I must have looked right at the date that said Gay's shower on the calendar. But my intention is I like happy surprises. So honestly, I believe as soon as I saw it, I just wiped it out of my conscious awareness. And the day came, I really didn't remember it. And the day came, and I didn't remember how they got me there, because it was a surprise, obviously. And when I got there and walked in, I was shocked. I was so surprised. And then afterward, Joe goes, I was sure that I had spilled the beans and that you knew all about this. You really acted like you were surprised. I said, I did. And she goes, well, didn't you remember you saw it on my calendar? I saw you saw it on my calendar. I went, I think maybe I did. But it was just so intentionally let go of, because I wanted the surprise, that's how it came out. And so remember the power of your thoughts. Remember the power of your intentions as you're going through life. And as you go into that conscious intention of going within and asking this higher power to what is it that you would direct me to do? What happy surprise do you have for me this day? You'll find that your life will be richer, will be deeper, will be free of the entanglements of the way it has to be. I've been talking to people who've had wonderful, wonderful results coming from things that they had never even known. They bump into somebody, and they're selling a house, and sure enough, this person is an attorney that deals with real estate, and this and that, and it's just, who would have known? How could you have orchestrated that? You don't. This higher power within you does. But it does take aligning with it. It takes acknowledging it. It takes, because, whenever you are appreciative of something, whenever you're grateful and thankful, then that is reflected out more into your environment. And I believe that Spirit responds and replies and says, oh, good. I wanted to share with you a story of a little 92-year-old lady. The 92-year-old, petite, well-poised, and proud lady who was fully dressed each morning by 8 o'clock with her hair fashionably coiffured and makeup perfectly applied. I think we almost have one of those sitting in here, our room today. Even though she is legally blind, moved to a nursing home today. Her husband of 70 years recently passed away, making the move necessary. After many hours of waiting patiently in the lobby of the nursing home, she smiled sweetly when told her room was ready. As she maneuvered her walker to the elevator, the aide provided a visual description of her tiny room, including the eyelet sheets that had been hung on her window. "Oh, I just love it," she stated with enthusiasm of an 8-year-old just having been presented with a new puppy. "Mrs. Jones, you haven't seen the room, but just wait," the aide said. "That doesn't have anything to do with it," she replied. "Happiness is something you decide on ahead of time. Whether I like my room or not doesn't depend on how the furniture is arranged. It's how I arrange my mind. And I've already decided to love it." That's what life is about, deciding to love it. And in that decision, we can experience this deep, abiding peace. That's how it's done. Every day and every moment, we have the opportunity to live in that peace that passes understanding, that passes the mind, that passes emotions, and gives us the strength and the stability and the joy of being this vehicle through which that energy expresses itself. So I want you to have this beautiful week coming up. Set your intention. Be able to go within. Take the moments in the morning, take the moments in the afternoon and the evening, and just align and connect and be. Be with that beautiful spirit that you are. And see what fun, welcome surprises you'll have in life. Love you all. Namaste.